On the 6th day of Christmas, a God gave to me
6 rounds of shots,
5 drunken gods,
4 hearing aids,
3 dead souls,
2 thunderbolts,
and a Neo Essentio city.
Oh, that crazy cheese. Oh, sorry. I didn't hear you come in. Hello, everyone. And it's that time of year again. That's right, the holiday season. And for today, let me read you a story of how one of your favorite characters thought Christmas was before she learned its true meaning. And let us begin with what might become one of the greatest holiday stories ever told, How the Twilly Stole Christmas. Everyone down in Hyrule liked Christmas a lot. But Midna, who lived just north of Hyrule, did not. Midna hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be her head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that her shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that her heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, her heart or her shoes, she stood there on Christmas Eve, hating Hyrule. She stared down from her cave with a sour twilly frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town, for she knew everyone down in Hyrule beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath.
And they're hanging their stockings.
She snarled with a sneer.
Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here.
Then she growled with her twilly fingers nervously drumming.
I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming.
For tomorrow she knew all of Hyrule's girls and boys would wake bright and early, they'd rush for their toys, and then, oh the noise, 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 noise. That's one thing she hated. The noise, 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 noise! The Hylians, young and old, would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, 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 feast! They'd feast on Hylian pudding, and rare Hylian roast beast, which was something Midna couldn't stand in the least. And then they'd do something she liked least of all. Everyone down in Hyrule, the tall and the small, would stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Hylians would start singing. They'd sing and they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more Midna thought of this Hyrule Christmas sing, the more the Twilly thought,
I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how?
Then she got an idea. An awful idea. Midna got a wonderful, awful idea.
I know just what to do.
Midna laughed in her throat, and she made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat, and she chuckled and cluckled.
What a great Twilly trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like St. Nick. All I need is a reindeer.
Midna looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there were none to be found. Did that stop the old Twilly? No, Midna simply said,
If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead.
So she called her dog Link. Then she took some red thread, and she tied a big horn on top of his head. Then she loaded some bags and took out the kinks on a ramshackle sleigh, and she hitched up old Link. Then the Twilly said,
Gadap!
and the sleigh started down towards the homes where the Hylians lay a snooze in their town. All their windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air. The Hylians were all dreaming sweet dreams without care, when she came to the first little house on the square.
This is stop number 1.
The old Twilly Claus hissed, and she climbed on the roof, empty bags in her fist. Then she slid down the chimney, a rather tight hitch, but if Santa could do it, then so could this bitch. She got stuck only once, for a moment or two. Then she stuck her head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Hylian stockings all hung in a row.
These stockings,
She grinned.
are the first things to go.
Then she slithered and slunk with a smile most unpleasant around the whole room, and she took every present. Slingshots and horses, crossbows, drums, roll-go-boards, courses, popcorns, and plums. And she stuffed them in bags. Then Midna, very nimbly, stuffed all the bags one by one up the chimbley. Then she slunk to the icebox. She took the Hylian's feast. She took the Hylian pudding. She took the roast beast. She cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Twilly even took their last can of Hylian hash. Then she stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee.
And now,
Grinned Midna.
I will stuff up the tree.
And the Twilly grabbed the tree and she started to shove, when she heard a small sound, like the coo of a dove. She turned around fast and she saw a small foo, little Malaloo-foo, who was not more than 2. Midna had been caught by this tiny foo son, who'd got out of bed for a cold cup of rum. He stared at Midna and said,
Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?
But you know that old Twilly was so smart and so slick. She thought up a lie, and she thought it up quick.
Why, my sweet little tot,
The fake Santa Claus lied.
there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, then I'll bring it back here.
And her fib fooled the child. Then she patted his head, and she got him a drink, and she sent him to bed. And then Malaloo-foo went to bed with his cup. She went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing she took was the log for their fire, and she went up the chimney herself, the old liar. On their walls she left nothing but hooks and some wire, and the one speck of food that she left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then she did the same thing to the other Hylian houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other Hylian mouses. It was 15:15 dawn, all the Hylians still abed, all the Hylians still a-sleepin', when she packed up her sled. Packed it up with their presents, the ribbings, the wrappings, the tags, and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up on the side of Snow Peak, she rode up with her load to the tip-top to critique.
Pooh-pooh to the foos.
She was twilly-ishly humming.
They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open for a minute or two. Then the fools down in Hyrule will all cry boo-hoo. That's a noise
Grinned Midna.
that I simply must hear.
So she paused, and the Twilly put her hand to her ear, and she did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded merry. It couldn't be so. But it was merry. Very. She stared down at Hyrule. Midna popped her eyes. Then she shook. What she saw was a shocking surprise. Every Hylian down in Hyrule, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. She hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or another, it came just the same. And Midna, with her twilly feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling.
How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags.
And she puzzled 3 hours till her puzzler was sore. Then the Twilly thought of something she hadn't before.
Maybe Christmas,
She thought,
doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more.
and what happened then? Well, in Hyrule they say that Midna's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute her heart didn't feel quite so tight, she whizzed with her load through the bright morning light, and she brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and she herself, Midna, carved the roast beast. Now that was fun, wasn't it? What an original idea.
Wait, Nevet, didn't Dr. Seuss write that story?
No, he wrote How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is how the Twilly... Okay. He might have written it, but I parodied it, and that deserves some credit there. Wait, hasn't that been parodied before by Little Grebo? Well, no. He Well,
You didn't come up with anything original, did you?
It had nice visuals.
You had this coming.
Yeah, you're right. I definitely had that coming. Oh, great, my chest is bleeding. Oh, God.
Merry Christmas, everyone, and have a Happy New Year. King of Red Lions, you can't say Merry Christmas, it's not PC. Oh, what do you want me to say? Happy Holidays? Hanukkah is already over, and nobody celebrates Kwanzaa.
King Red Lions, you have no idea what people are gonna do if you don't say Happy Holidays.
Okay, fine, Link. Happy Holidays, everyone. Don't let the door hit you on your way out. God.
We're here tonight, and that's enough. Simply having a wonderful